Hey, a very good evening to you traders. A bit of a late video tonight, but what I've done is a little bit different. I've recorded the whole of the Apple event, or should I say the whole of the stock price move. And what I've done is I've annotated the chart as the event comes out. So any text you see me writing on the chart is native to the chart app. Any lines I draw on there, any arrows are as the price is moving actually at the time. So we've got a 2 hours worth of Apple event that I've condensed into about 10 or 12 minutes for us. Obviously my commentary now is after the event because I've had to speed up a lot of it to about 4,000 times the speed and slow down certain bits so we can look at the key points, the pivot levels, and also speed up the stuff where it gets a bit boring. So my idea for this is always the same with the Apple event, is that, you know, think about who's trading during the event. It's the retail guys thinking they're going to buy Apple before it shoots to 110 because they're going to announce something really fantastic. So my thesis is always, I want to fade the retail crowd. What do retail do? They buy breakouts, they jump on momentum, they expect this to fly. Okay, so my idea in all of this, and you'll see when in a minute with the arrows come up in bits and pieces, is that fading that push, because the algos will be fading it, the HFT guys will be fading it, the market makers will be looking to screw over the retail until the event is over. Then the real move will happen. So let's start to fast forward it, and we'll stop at certain key points and I'll talk through what I was looking at with the price, and you'll see my text typing in. I'm going to put in some key points from the event, you know, some of the announcements that were made, and we can see how that affected the price as and when that came out, and also some of the key levels and bits and pieces, and some suggested ideas for where to get involved. So we're speeding this up now. We're on a 1 minute chart, and this is Apple. So we start to get this bit of pre-buying before the announcement. There's some sort of presentation thing going on, and we start to sort of shoot up. You see the volume spiking there, and we start to push up. So this is the first kind of area where you think, okay, retail's getting excited, and you can see me now. I drew a little arrow in to say this is the first sort of short entry based on that extreme, because the tape just stopped, just stopped dead. We have that final flush in volume. Look at the volume down there. I can't actually draw it on now, but you can look at the volume, you can see. And then there would be my first target, would be just below that VWAP, just to scalp, to take some off. You want to take some off, to take some risk off the table, and then hold a large portion. So we got that, and now we'll just speed up things again. So he came out with some sort of collaboration with Mario, and then we had an education thing, and you can see now it's about 5 or 6, 7 or 8 minutes just in this bracket by the VWAP. Okay, and now we kind of see, you can see my stops above that high for the whole thing at 780, and my full target is that low at 107.05, 107.10, that kind of thing, because that's ultimately where I think we're headed. We may not head to it straight away, but you've got to expect that. So now I'm watching this and I'm seeing we've had real-time slide editing, a new watch coming out, the Pokemon on the watch, it's swim proof. Then we've got the next gen Apple Watch. They're talking about the actual different changes to it, and here we're starting to find a bit of support, and that makes sense as well, because if you look, and I've actually drawn it on a rectangle saying, this is probably where you would exit your short position here if you were looking just to scalp these moves like the thesis I had, because it comes in waves. People get excited, and you can see that I drew on the support level and resistance from before, and that makes a lot of sense. People get excited, get sucked into the long side, then they get kicked out. Then I expect another wave in pre-iPhone, they get excited, and then they'll get kicked out. And rinse, repeat until the Apple event is over. So let's speed up again and see exactly what happens. So we did find some support here, and we've got some GPS stuff, and I think they got involved with Nike. You can see me just typing on as a new material. Some of this might make sense, but I was just doing it as Cook was speaking. So the partnership with Nike there, and you can see how solid this support is. So and then there's that ultimate target for later on. But now you see the iPhone. Look at the spike on the iPhone. So the iPhone comes out, or talking about the iPhone, and we can see the retail spike in volume purely because the information about the iPhone is coming out. So the prices, what have you, and you can see this is causing the stock to push up because the retail crowd are buying this in anticipation again that it's going to fly to the upside, and they're going to make a good profit from this. So I'm thinking actually just a tiny bit early here, but that VWAP level, the volume weighted average price, I'm thinking that's a good place to take another short. So just because you've had that push up in volume, it's not moved much, but it's probably enough that they're anticipating it, and then as they start talking, we're going to start to grind a little bit lower because there's nothing revolutionary coming out about this, and that's the sort of shock that people get, and then when they see the price going down, they just have to cover. And they can see they're just reinforcing that level that the ultimate cover level is. Whether that happens in this cycle or whether it happens in a couple more, I didn't know at the time, but let's see what happens. So speeding up a bit, we get a little bit of a push through that VWAP, but not too far. It's still holding. Some of the features starting to come out on the iPhone, and you can see now 4 or 5 minutes of holding that VWAP. We can't break through the high with much conviction. We get news about it being water resistant, and there's a good camera there. Sort of a bit of retail coming again. Now the iPhone Plus comes out, and this is the key point here. This is really good here. This is retail again buying this breakout. They're buying the breakout, thinking this is going to fly. Okay, and bearing in mind, there's only 10 cents above the VWAP. This is not a lot, but this is the guys who are buying this, thinking, yes, this is the new iPhone Plus. We're going to fly. We're going to fly. We're going to fly. So if this fails, this is your area for really starting to press this on the short side. Now, maybe if you'd have taken that short where the arrow comes in, you might have taken profits on the dip down. Maybe you dragged the stop to break even. Maybe you're still in with a stop above that 780 high level, looking for a flush to lows. Whatever, this is just actually analysing how the price is moving at the time. Trades that you generate from that are purely based on your own thesis or ideas. So let's see. This is my thinking now, and you can see now my cursor's going over to the arrow, and I'm saying, look at that, we're not breaking out. It's the same thing as I've said in a couple of other videos before in terms of watching price. If it fails straight away and gets back under that level, then it's a fake out. If it holds and puts 2 or 3 minutes of price action above that little level, bearing in mind, guys, this is a 1 minute chart, so this is not a daily chart or anything. This is purely scalping. This is on the retail move. So I'm putting in here retail buying the breakout. The BO stands for breakout. So I put that in, and I'm just dragging that there because that's what they're doing. And they're going to get disappointed. They're going to get disappointed if we start to roll over. And that's the kind of trade you're looking for. You're looking for the retail disappointment. Of course, you want to manage your risk at some point, but the thesis of the trade is exactly that. So let's speed things up a little bit. So we start to roll down now. We can't hold above that high, and you can see me moving things around, and what we've got there, 10 minutes of move. And then I think we just start to we sit there for quite a while as he's talking about headphones and all this sort of stuff. And you know what, the point of this, and I've reinforced the fact that that level there is pretty key. If we break that, then we're probably going to run through the lows because that's where everyone's going to have a stop. We start to now get pushed. It talks about Apple Pay a little bit. The longer we spend in that range, the more people are getting sucked in. And now we talk about the performance of thing. And also he says it's the last thing. That's the key, what I put in that text there. The last thing, which is going to disappoint retail. And I think I typed that as well, because that's what they're all looking for. This is where you would press it now, because it's the last thing. There's no big surprises, guys. All you guys who have bought, above that high on that breakout that we were looking at, it's 107.60. Yeah, you're not actually hurting too much because it's 20 cents, but in the scheme of the move, that's not so great. And the more this starts to go to the downside, the more we can start to target, through the lows, through those lows there, and then see if it goes any further on that. So now I've sort of reframed the low position because we get that support there at 107.20, and you're looking for that flush through that because that's where retail stops would be. And I can see here I've put in no surprises, or did I put in no surprises? Retail not happy, sell short. Okay, that would be the theory of it. So, and as I say, it's just because of the disappointment, and then you're looking for a flush through that low because that's where everyone's stop would be. And don't forget, we're not looking for home runs here. We're just looking to fade the retail crowd. So I've put there no surprises. Retail not happy, sell short, stop. Target the stops under the low. So we're talking about something about flying monkeys with the games, the battery life, talking about all the time disappointment. Here we go. Now we're starting to flush. Through we go. There you go. There's the low that we're looking for it to flush through. Stops are pinged on the retail crowd. We're done. We're out of the trade. all done. That's the thesis of the trade. It's just catching that retail, scalping a little bit, letting them get caught out, because we know where these guys are going to put their stops. They're chasing the highs, and they've got stops under low. And we can just see now what happened a little bit after. Just have to fast forward it a bit. We started to push up and just gather. Just as those stops ran out of selling pressure, and then after the announcement, you're likely to get the proper move, if any. So a little bit interesting, I think. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's kind of interesting when you know you've only got retail involved in it, because the big guys who are taking big positions aren't going to be involved in stuff like that until they know and they make a decision. This is a good stock to buy. Let's buy it. They're not going to be jumping in until they've got all the information. So it's good to fade that retail crowd. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. Hope you did too, guys. Back with another video tomorrow. Take care.